Yo, what's happening, people? Back again for another stream. Remember, smash that like button, guys, and subscribe to my channel in the top right-hand corner. At Gav goes in. Okay, so obviously you might have seen me do Barcelona's lineup yesterday. Their potential 1 to 11 this season. Now we move on to Real Madrid's 1 to 11. I think if you look at these two squads now, especially in terms of El Clasico, I think you could see El Clasico coming back to some sort of respectability. I think doing Barcelona's team yesterday, obviously if they get the signings in as well, the likes of Dani Olmo, who they've been linked with, Nico Williams, and who knows, there might be a few surprise signings as well. I think if they can kind of get them signings and and obviously stay injury clear, I think you can see Barcelona, slowly creeping back to the top of the table. Real Madrid, obviously, as we know, most notable, as you can see as well on the on the screen, Kylian Mbappe. How will he fit in? Obviously, Mbappe is the big signing on a free transfer. They've also brought in Endrick, and I reckon Real Madrid probably might make one more signing. I believe in defence. Whether they go and get Alphonso Davies, who they've been linked to at left back, or they might bring in another right back. Obviously been linked with Trent as well. Or they might try and get Hakimi back. You never know. But obviously it costs a lot of money. But as you can see, Real Madrid are they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this season for sure. And I think in terms of European football, Champions League, possibly see these two dominating in the Champions League this season. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, guys, obviously got the lineup builder on my left-hand side. So I'm going to give you my 1 to 11 with the new signings as well. And as I say, if you guys have got any comments to make, if you think there's players that should be in this lineup, then feel free to drop them in. I'm going to let you know now, there's going to be one notable absentee from the lineup that a few of you might be a bit upset with. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I'm going to give you my reason as to my lineup. So starting off in goal, obviously I know we had Andre Lunin, who's been linked, I think, with Chelsea, I believe. Obviously Thibaut Courtois was out for the season, well, majority of the season. Andre Lunin did step in. Had a very good season for Real Madrid. Was instrumental in them going all the way to the final and winning the Champions League. And for sure, I think his value has increased. But for me, Thibaut Courtois, one of the best goalkeepers in the world for me still. I've always liked left-footed goalkeepers as well. I think whenever you get a left-footed goalkeeper, whether it be in goal, centre-back, or as a striker, I feel they've always got a number 10 as well. I feel they've always got something special about them. So for me, Thibaut Courtois remains number 1. I'm trying to put his name in now. Belgian international. Obviously didn't play in the Euros because I'd only just come back from injury. To be fair, I was a bit surprised that he wasn't in the Euros squad. Obviously did play the Champions League final. But yeah, he still, for me, it's still a top goalkeeper. Hugely experienced as well. So he'll bring that experience to an already experienced backline. And then we move over to right back. For me, one of the most underrated fullbacks in world football. And that is Dani Carvajal. I think Carvajal's experience, his quality, his know-how. I think his biggest attribute for me would be that he's a winner. He's a fighter, and you need these kind of players in your squad, in your lineup. Again, won the Euros as well with Spain this summer. And for me, arguably one of the best right backs in the world. And he's for sure going to be the right back. Obviously, that's been linked with Trent. if Trent was to come, I don't think Real Madrid will get Trent. I think that's just speculation, and Trent wouldn't displace Carvajal in my opinion either. But yeah, for sure, Carvajal is a top right back, and he's someone for me that Real Madrid are going to lean heavily on to get them over the line once again in both the league and the Champions League. I do think eventually they are going to have to buy someone to replace him. Obviously, they had Achraf Hakimi, who they let go, who's obviously at PSG, who they could potentially, as I said, bring back. Or you never know, there could be someone up and coming. The Trent links, I don't think Trent would work well in a system at Real Madrid where, I mean, Real Madrid would dominate the ball, but I think Champions League, they might come unstuck against the best. He might come unstuck against the best wide men if he plays at right back there. But for sure, Danny Carvajal will be in between. Will be at right back. Left back for me, another player that's very underrated. Obviously, again, there's been links with Alphonso Davies. I can't see them. I think if Alphonso Davies does come in, they could get him on a free next season, or if they really want to push the boat out and get him, they could obviously just offer Bayern Munich something this season. Nonetheless, though, Ferland Mendy, again, another player that's not really spoken about. Another player, obviously, that went with France to the Euros but didn't play. But what an understudy to Theo Hernandez he is. And what a player for Real Madrid he has been as well, very solid. I think there was a quote from Carlo Ancelotti. I think he said he's probably the best defensive left back in world football. And obviously, Carlo Ancelotti being Italian, who are known for their defense. To say that praise about Ferland Mendy speaks volumes for how well he thinks he is, how good he thinks he is. And obviously, if they don't get Alphonso Davies or another left back in, to have Ferland Mendy there, is a great bit of business in the sense of having these two fullbacks as your regular players there, and for sure there'll be a threat both attacking wise and solid defensively as well. Centre back, for me, I think he's one of the best centre backs in the world. Obviously, Chelsea kicking their heads in that they lost him on a free transfer, and that is Antonio Rudiger. For me, I think Rudiger, he is taken over from what Sergio Ramos was for Real Madrid. I mean, Rudiger's the aggressor. He's a winner. He could also play as well. He's a leader, and when Ramos obviously was coming to the end, to identify someone like Rudiger to come in and replace him was massive, because he's a top defender, Rudiger. Obviously, German international, was instrumental in Germany's run to the quarterfinals, where they were beaten by France. Was it France? No, beaten by Spain, should I say? Yeah, where they were beaten by Spain. Unluckily, but yeah, Rudiger will be obviously their main centre back this season. And yeah, as I said, Rudiger's a top defender. Alongside him, I put him on the left because obviously you've got David Alaba, who obviously very versatile, who can play left centre back, left back, and in midfield as well. But Alaba's been very injury prone. Obviously, he missed the Euros as well. So I think it's only right to put Eder Militao alongside him, who again has had his injury issues. But Militao is again another aggressive defender, Brazilian international, someone who again will have a lot to prove this season and hopefully can try and stay injury clear. But yeah, ball playing defender and complements Rudiger very, very well. So that quartet there for me of Thibaut Courtois, Danny Carvajal, Eden Militao, Antonio Rudiger, Ferland Mendy. For me, is a solid five there to build on. And yeah, I think if that five there can stay fit through the majority of the season, that five are going to take some stopping, both in the Champions League and the league, And obviously as well, they got cover in Alaba if he can get back fit. I know I think Nacho was playing regularly last season, who was their captain, but I think Nacho's actually moved on now, I believe. But yeah, that's a solid five there. Then we move into midfield, and now this is going to be interesting, because obviously Toni Kroos is now retired. Top player Toni Kroos, more or less won it all, Champions League leagues. I'm not sure if he's won a Euros. Did he win a Euros or a World Cup? He might have done, but club-wise, yeah, top player, and yeah, someone that played a massive part in Real Madrid's dominance in the Champions League. But yeah, he's moved on. So you've got a midfield quartet of Aurelien Tchouameni, Eduardo Camavinga, Federico Valverde, Jude Bellingham obviously can play in the midfield. Arda Güler is more of a 10, but I believe can play as one of the three if need be. And then you got Brahim Diaz as well. So for me, in the centre, to be more defensive, to be running the midfield, for me, is an easy choice, and that's Aurelien Tchouameni. I think Tchouameni in possession. Tchouameni in possession. I know he was playing centre back this season, obviously because they had a few injury issues. But for me, Tchouameni needs to be that linchpin in midfield. Oh, how can I forget Luka Modric as well? Still there. Obviously, again, Luka Modric, top midfielder. Obviously, coming to the end of his career, and you'd expect Modric to just be there in the dressing room to be the experienced head, and to get game time off the bench. But in terms of being a regular starter now, yeah, his time more or less is coming to an end. But what a career, what a player, and for sure will go down as easily one of the greats of the game. But for me, wouldn't be starting in Real Madrid's strongest team, because I think obviously Real Madrid's strongest team now needs to move forward. And Aurelien Tchouameni for me, for sure, will be the deep lying defensive midfielder to break up play. He can also play as well, and for me, he'll be essential in that midfield role to patrol the midfield. On the left, for me, again, another easy decision. For me, he's one of the best midfielders in the world. Can play left back as well. I believe he's got the number 6 shirt as well for Real Madrid this season. And for me, adds the balance when you play in the free midfield. And that's Eduardo Camavinga. So I think him and Tchouameni, it needs to be them two in the midfield for Real Madrid. That will help to build the national team as well. Camavinga's left-footed, Tchouameni's right-footed, and they can both dovetail together perfectly. As I said, I think if you can get these two playing regularly together, again, they're going to take some stopping, and you're looking at two of the best young midfielders in world football for me. Why I like Camavinga is that Camavinga, again, very comfortable on the ball. He can glide through midfield. He's very tenacious as well, very strong on the ball. And most importantly, he's got a very good left foot to pick up passes, And again, as I said before, he adds the balance to the midfield. Bear me 1 minute, guys. So yeah, Eduardo Camavinga on the left-hand side to provide that that balance, as I said, for Real Madrid's midfield. And then the right-hand side, so many people will be thinking, right, where's Bellingham going to fit into this? The answer is he doesn't. And I'm going to tell you why. So for me, I'm going to play Valverde. So Federico Valverde. Again, Valverde is the new number 8 for Real Madrid. And I think that midfield there of Valverde, Tchouaméni, and Camavinga is a solid midfield to go with that back five. I think if you look at Valverde and Camavinga, they can both occupy the half spaces out on the flanks to help Carvajal and Ferland Mendy. Both can play infield as well. Both got legs in the midfield. And then you've got Tchouaméni, who will patrol the centre of the pitch, which means the likes of Jude Bellingham and Arda Güler will start off on the bench for me. Obviously, a change of formation. So if you want to play a 4-3-2-1, play with a number 10. For me, Arda Güler plays in the number 10. Or if you want to play a diamond, you can play Bellingham at the top of the diamond if you wanted to. But for me, that midfield there of Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Valverde is a solid midfield. All three of them comfortable on the ball. Valverde can play as a right-sided attacker as well, but I don't think he's best suited to that. I think he's best suited to playing the free. So yeah, that's a solid midfield for me. And now we move on to the attacking department. For me, and this is why I'm going to put in, as you can see on my screen, Rodrigo. Will he be the fall guy? For me, in terms of, I would say, natural ability, I mean, they've got Rodrigo, Mbappe now, Vinicius Jr., obviously young Endrick just signed as well. And they could play Bellingham up there, which I don't think they should or will do. I'm hoping Rodrigo won't be the fall guy. Because for me, I think he's very underrated, Rodrigo. And Rodrigo actually plays from the left as well. But because of Vinicius Jr., Mbappe now, who can play from the left as well, because of their standing in the game over Rodrigo, Rodrigo will have to kind of play on the right because they haven't really got a player that can play there. Arda Güler can actually play from the right as an inverted, obviously being left-footed as well. So you might see Arda Güler and Rodrigo swap at times this season. You never know. But for me, Rodrigo definitely starts, and I think Ancelotti rates Rodrigo highly. So it'll be very surprising to see if he does drop Rodrigo from his lineup to play a different formation, which I don't believe he will. So yeah, for me, Rodrigo definitely starts on that right-hand side. And then obviously the two obvious ones, which we know are going to play. First off, I'm going to put on the left-hand side, for me, Ballon d'Or winner this season, had a great season for Real Madrid. And for sure, for me, on the left-hand side is Vinicius Jr. For me, if he doesn't win the Ballon d'Or this season, then I think it's a joke, really. And just saying that as well, I think it kind of shows that, I mentioned this, it shows the fall of football, really, because as well as a player that Vinicius Jr. is, you've got players like Neymar, who didn't win it, and obviously the great Ronaldinho. And Vinicius Jr., as good as a player he is nowhere near that level of Ronaldinho and Neymar. But in this era that we're in now, I would possibly say at the moment, just by his last season, he definitely should be the front runner for the Ballon d'Or for sure. And then the striking position is very simple. The free transfer, the big name, Kylian Mbappe. Now, obviously, Mbappe is not a natural striker. He plays better from the left, but I don't believe that he will come and take Vinicius Jr.'s position on that left-hand side. But I think what you probably will see is a fluent front three of Rodrigo, Mbappe, and Vinicius Jr., where you'll see one of them on the left, one of them on the right, one of them through the center to make it a bit more fluid. And if you're looking at that team right there, that is arguably a formidable team with, to run through it again, Thibaut Courtois in goal, Danny Carvajal right back, Ferland Mendy at left back, Eder Militao and Antonio Rudiger making up the back five. In the midfield three of Aurelien Tchouameni, playing as a deep defensive midfielder, Eduardo Camavinga and Federico Valverde as the two central midfielders, again, who can cover the flanks as well because they've got legs. And then a front three of Kylian Mbappe through the middle, Vinicius Jr. on the left, and Rodrigo on the right. And as I say, they can be interchangeable. And then the bench options, you've got players like Arda Güler, Jude Bellingham, young Endrick as well, Luka Modric experience, David Alaba, I think, get back fit as well. So they've got options on the bench, Brahim Diaz as well. But that lineup there, you'd fully expect that lineup there to cause problems all season for any team. And as I said, I think them and Barcelona, they're going to be head-to-head, I think, in this league. Again, if Barca can strengthen their lineup as well, or their squad. So yeah, guys, that's my lineup for Real Madrid. As I said, if you feel there's any players that are missing or you feel that should be not in this lineup, then feel free to drop them in the comments either after the stream or now. But I think you'd find that's a very hard team to kind of take someone out. I mean, as I said before, I know Mbappe is not a natural striker, but the way that they're going to go, I think it's going to be fluent and they're going to be interchangeable. So yeah, for me, that's a strong squad, strong lineup. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Go back to my full screen. So yeah, guys, that's my take on Real Madrid's team. Hope you guys like the stream. As I say, smash the comments in, subscribe to my channel at Gav Goes In. As I said, guys, yeah, feel free to drop some comments in and tell me what you think. Take it easy.